lost control on a first date and snapped at her family.
Oh, snap.
Why are you meeting her family on the first date? I joined a dating site to try and get more dates. That was my only intent. I have been working too much for 2 years at my new job. I just wanted to have more fun. By the way, this comes from throwaway4352015. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. Oh, I got an email and set up a date with this girl. It's my 5th date from the site and it's been fun. But this one girl was like one of those love at first sight moments when we met at a restaurant. I saw her. She was perfect. I tried to play it cool, but I felt like I could just cut ties with all the girls I've dated and commit to her. Physically, she was everything I could ever ask for and exactly my type. Her personality seemed like a 10 out of 10. About 30 minutes into sitting down, we didn't even order because we were just talking. The chemistry was as good as it was with my first love when I was 13. It was perfect. Sparks were flying. I thought I was done and ready to commit right there. But then she tells me to forget about ordering food, that we should go somewhere else. She has an idea. She wouldn't say much, and I like surprises, so I didn't ask. We jumped in my car and drove to a restaurant about 20 minutes away, kind of out of town. It was halfway up a mountain near a ski resort. I'm familiar with the area, so no big deal. We walk in, and her family is celebrating her aunt's birthday.
I'm viscerally uncomfortable at the thought of doing this on the first interaction.
I hate this. What? There were only family members, about 40 people. She introduces me and everybody was happy to meet me. Really nice. Everyone also knew she was out on a first date. They were asking her stuff like, is this the guy? Is this your date? Is this the one? Suddenly, I wasn't so cool and relaxed. I felt heavy pressure to be on my best behavior. High pressure to the 3rd degree. But everybody was nice, so that helped. We sat down and I started being questioned by her older sister, her aunt, and another lady whose relation to my date I forgot.
Literally first date and you're being interrogated by extended family members who you don't even know how they're related.
And also not even talking to your date.
Yeah, you're being...
Like the whole point of a first date is getting to know someone. You're not even talking to your date.
Let me let my family get to know you first.
Her mom started kind of defending me, telling them to back off and let me eat. But the interrogating continued. After who knows how long, they turned to my date and jokingly said, "We approve." That's when I was finally able to get my bearings. I was totally off balance all night, just tense. I was afraid the back of my shirt would get that big wet spot because I could feel sweat on my back. Then her sister brought her cute little girl and let me hold her. She and my date started taking pictures of me holding her and then somebody else's baby boy as well. I started to feel like the tone of it all was that we were a couple. I kind of felt like I was married to her and these nice people were my in-laws.
Okay, well now that sounds more like a you problem, buddy. Like, let's use our brains here and not run away with a fairy tale.
I think he's saying like it felt like they were treating him like this and he was like, whoa, we just had a first date.
It is weird to have to be approved by the entire extended family on the first date.
Well, at least, because I feel like some cultures will do this where you know, the whole family, obviously you have arranged marriage and stuff. But in this case, Opie had no idea that this was happening and was just told, hey, we're going to go to this place. And he was like, okay, shows up. Everyone kind of was like, hey, you're on a date. And he's like, what? Keep in mind, her car is still at the other restaurant down the hill. Then her dad suddenly asks me jokingly what my intentions with his daughter are. I can't remember exactly how he phrased the question. Everyone at the table, about half the people there, looked at me. I guess I was exhausted from all the questioning by multiple people multiple times and the pressure of it all because I kind of lost it. He asked the question. I looked across the table at her and she told her dad to stop. Her dad smiles and jokingly says he'd really like to hear my response. Her uncle, I think, also said he'd like to know, also jokingly. I looked at my date and said, can I talk to you alone for a minute? To which her dad laughs loudly and says, I made him nervous. So now everybody is laughing and I guess it was all a big joke. Then I said again, hey, can I talk to you alone for a minute? I stood up, kind of. It was one of those long bench seats and I couldn't push it back because other people were sitting on it. Then her sister, I think, says, oh, there are no secrets in this family. Speak your mind. People laugh again and everyone starts making jokes. Then a man who married into the family chimes in saying he remembers being in my place. He says, let me give you some advice. The best thing to do right now is speak your mind and be honest. Others join in, echoing his sentiment jokingly, I think. I look at my date and she says something like, you can tell me anything here. We're all family. She too seemed to be joking. But by then, I had started to lose my ability to tell when people were joking and when they were serious. Then her dad says, "Wait, I haven't gotten an answer to my question." So finally, I speak directly to him and say, "I'd like to discuss that with her first." But I regretfully laughed as I said it. So her dad says, "I asked you first. I want to know." I turn to my date and she says something like, "Go ahead. You can tell me. I'm a big girl. I can handle it." So I said, "Okay." Sat down and took a couple of breaths while her dad quieted everybody down. I started with, "I think I made a huge mistake."
Oh.
It all spiraled down from there. I said harsh things like how I felt like I was having a bad dream where I was suddenly married. I questioned her intentions in bringing me there. I said things like, "What were you thinking? Yes, I liked you, but I just met you. And right now I know your aunt," I pointed at her, "better than I know you." I think she was humiliated, but I couldn't stop. The more I spoke, the worse it got. Total tailspin. I said I wanted to find someone special, but didn't want to skip the first 29 dates and jump straight to date 30, which is what had happened that night. Then people started interrupting, suggesting we slow down and have a real first date. I wasn't having it. I was out of control. I said, "No, it's too late for that. I feel robbed. I wanted to meet this girl, get to know her, date her, and maybe fall for her. But now it's like we're engaged. Her whole family is here, and there are all these expectations. We skipped the getting to know each other and dating part. I feel robbed."
All right, buddy.
Then I said yet another thing I regret. Just a little bit more. It's a huge red flag that I asked for a minute alone with you two to talk, and this is what I got instead. I added, "You're all great, a great family, but the lack of certain boundaries is a huge red flag for me. I would never let my relationship become family business."
Buddy, relax, dude.
At this point, my date interrupts me and says, "Okay, so let's talk in private. Let's go outside and talk. I'm sorry I didn't give you that minute. Let's go outside and talk privately. I'll give you all night." She was visibly shaken and I could tell tears were inevitable. I stood up again and realized that I had insulted all of them, so I just walked out. I felt really bad because they were all nice and had nothing but the best intentions. They love her and were literally telling me I was good enough, which should have been a compliment. I somehow took it the wrong way and spat in their faces. I didn't even drink. And edit. We walked out and I let her have it again. She was now sobbing uncontrollably. She apologized and pretty much begged for us to start over. I told her I wasn't into it and left her there.
Bro, relax. What are we doing? You're like, she's 10 out of 10. She's got the best personality. She's this, she's that. And you're going to let one bad first date? Huge red flag for me is then we stepped outside and I let her have it again. The situation's already diffused now, buddy. You have no excuse.
I drove home and couldn't help but wonder if I overreacted.
You did.
Just a little bit.
A lot. I'm disagreeing with her.
I think we're on different pages.
Which is great. I love when this happens.
But I'm like, I understand it. I couldn't sleep and I woke up this morning feeling like I probably did overreact. Now I feel like crap. But it's done. I can't undo it. Edit, let me ask this more clearly. Should I call her and apologize for humiliating her and insulting her family? Or should I just move on? Or should I wait to see if she calls or and apologize then? And there is an update. I do think that he could call.
Yes.
And say like, "Hey, really sorry for the outburst. I think I just felt really overwhelmed. I don't know if I want to keep this going, but I did want to apologize. Just want to clear something up. My date never had a profile on the dating site. She was browsing through with her friend who has a profile, and they were looking for a date for her friend. It was the friend who originally messaged me to set me up with my date. Also, I deleted my profile. I'm totally done with online dating. I've been in this city 2 years now, so I'm just going to go out and meet people the old-fashioned way. It just feels less risky somehow. I know this is going to disappoint many of you, but I decided to speak with her. The very day I posted here was the day immediately after our date. That same evening, she called me, but I didn't answer because I was in the shower. So she sent me a text that said, "Do you hate me too much to talk to me?" I texted back, "I don't hate you." She responded, "Can I call you?" I texted, "Yes." So she called and immediately went into full apology damage control mode. I told her that it was okay and that I was already over it and had moved on. She asked if there was any way we could meet because there were some things she wanted to say in person. And she wanted us to part with a handshake and all that. It kind of sounded like she needed closure.
So again.
But why? I feel like they're making this a lot more serious, that it's one date and she needs closure.
I think we're missing info. I think that there was, and that's why the whole family already knew about this guy who's like, it's just a dating app, but it's like clearly they were talking in a way that made her feel like, oh my God, me and this guy click like bing, bang, boom. Like, and apparently the family knew.
Text is deceptive though. You can
But
click over.
He echoed that sentiment.
Yeah.
He literally said she's perfect.
I know, but I think it's deceptive. I think they're both like, oh wait, this is the real person, and I don't know if they're real in person.
I don't know.
I just remembered a very sad, tragic tale.
Oh, what is it?
I remember when a young Samuel Donner, he wanted to join the cool kids, but instead of labeling you as one of the cool kids,
They called me Salad Boy because I ate nothing but salads. Could not trade my lunch for a lunch bowl, really anything.
You know what community will always welcome you with open arms, Sam?
And make you feel like a cool kid?
The great people who have OK Storytime memberships.
Oh, I heard that 60 plus hours of members only content Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
You heard right, Sam, and it's only $5 a month.
So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join. Now back to the story.
Chomp, chomp.
So I agreed to meet her downtown to talk the following Tuesday. Not a date, no lunch, no coffee. We just met at a park. We met and I knew she was still the one. Okay.
Bing, bang, boom. What did I say?
Wow, wait. She told me she loves me and we decided to try it again? What? We went on 3 dates and I proposed. She said yes. We're going to get married in... No way.
No.
We're going to
No,
get
no,
married
no.
in December. No big wedding. We're going to fly to Las Vegas and do it there. The plan is to spend Christmas as a married couple. Just kidding. You freaking liar.
So you can make jokes, huh?
I'm not that effing crazy. Hopefully you're still reading. We're still here. The rest of the update continues in the next paragraph. Okay. We met at a park just to talk. I had been so disappointed because I felt that the spark and the butterflies in my stomach would be gone, that I wouldn't like her anymore. As soon as I saw her, this was confirmed. There was no spark.
Boo. Boo this man.
She looked great, but I just didn't feel it. It kind of crushed me. So I decided to listen to her as she apologized again and told me she had really liked me on that first date and got carried away, making a very dumb decision that she wishes she could take back. She added that her mom had pulled her aside when we arrived and right from the beginning told her that if she liked me, she just made a big mistake by bringing me. I guess her mom pretty much cringed when she saw us walk in that night. Also, I should say that her mom was the only one defending me that night and practically pulling people off me, like her religious uncle who asked me if I had been saved. I remember that pretty well, but I guess her mom came down on her hard for not just having a first date, but she also said that things got even crazier after I left. Her mom wasn't there for my rant. She had driven somebody home and came back after I'd left. She found my date outside crying and was told what happened. Her mom, I guess, stormed into the restaurant and went off on everybody for ganging up on me. My date says she called them a bunch of out of control animals. The whole thing was reduced to a big finger pointing fest by everybody. The mom was furious because the story is that my date's dad left them when my date was 9. He had some sort of breakdown and became a heavy drinker. He became verbally and emotionally abusive, so the mom punted him out to protect the kids. He refused to get his act together and disappeared for almost 10 years. So the mom hates when the dad acts like he has a say in his kids' lives since he was gone and just came back less than 2 years ago. But he still lives over an hour away. A lot of the people who were there, I guess, live far away and flew in for the aunt's birthday. Supposedly, most of them she only sees once a year at most. When the mom went off on him especially hard and questioned his right to have any say in his daughter's decision to date anybody, she embarrassed him in front of everybody for having overstepped so many boundaries.
May I also just say 40 people is a lot.
Lot of people. She told me this stuff because she wanted me to know that she was very sorry she let her dad act all fatherly when it wasn't the time and it wasn't his place. These were her words, not mine. In a way, I'm glad the mom wasn't there to witness me going off because then I would have felt really bad. But come to think of it, she probably would have stepped in and prevented it. She asked me if there was a way we could have that first date again, but I said no.
Boo.
There's no way I can pretend that we are meeting for the first time after all of that. I know too much about her. I feel way too gone past that first date mode right now, and maybe I need to take a break from formal dates. I did apologize to her for not telling her right away how uncomfortable I was and for going off on her outside the restaurant. I told her that there were a lot of nice people there that I felt bad about, but that I'm sure they understood me because they seem reasonable. As I was talking to her, I could see how much better she felt that I had given my own apology. Her face went from subdued and sorry to kind of hopeful and semi-happy. She started to get back her glow and her spunk. We started talking about other stuff, what I do at work, my hobbies, and some other casual stuff. The more I talked, the more she glowed. I felt bad because she showed up looking kind of fragile and contrite. She looked vulnerable, but by the end of our conversation, she was smiling and looking more sure of herself. I tried to show my sense of humor and make her laugh. I felt kind of sorry for her, so I made it my goal to send her home smiling. I kind of started to feel that spark again after she started smiling and laughing more. She has a great laugh. It's really cute and innocent. It felt a lot like it did at the restaurant. Her awesomeness comes back when she's comfortable. Oh, she definitely does it for me.
Okay, listen. I'm getting terrible vibes from OP.
I don't know. It seems like they're making up.
I've met people like this, and it's like the people that they see have to fit into like, and I may be just over generalizing here. He wants this girl to fit in a nice little box, and it's like the fact that he's like, oh, well, when she was all sad and fragile and subdued, I didn't care anything for her. And when she started laughing the way that I wanted her to be, it's like I started to feel the spark again. It's like, who do you think you are, the king of the world? Like,
okay, but again, this is a person he's only been on one date with.
Exactly.
Introduces him to his entire family. But I'm like deeply uncomfortable at that thought. And then shows up and is apologizing, but is like crying, and you're like, I just met you.
Okay,
literally just met you.
To your point, they have literally just met. And what is he saying? He's describing her getting her spark back, her getting her spunk going again. It's like, how do you know that?
That's true.
Who
That's
are
true.
you?
That's true. She definitely does it for me. I walked her to her car and we agreed that another date is probably not a good idea right now. She wanted to meet my yoga teacher because she's the best. My date, I feel weird not typing her name, as said she needs to learn to relax more when she's stressed out. So I met her at yoga class the following Thursday and made the introduction. My date has been coming to the same 3 yoga sessions that I do weekly. We talk there. She still flirts with me and hints that we should meet for hot tea. Neither of us is a coffee drinker. I walk her to her car after class because it's dark by then. I still like her, and I can tell she feels the same way. The spark is all the way back now. The spark's back, Dakota.
No!
The spark's back.
Now I have bad vibes.
Spark
I
is
don't
back.
like it.
But all those comments I got here on my original post about her being crazy are still completely lodged in my head. They have me second guessing myself about staying in touch with her. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but whatever it is, it's going to take time. There is another update. Do you have any final thoughts? Because I think
I think all my thoughts have been spoken.
I think we agree, but for different reasons.
We agree, but we're on opposite sides of the fence.
Yeah, I'm like, we should, like, we're coming over here and we're on different sides, but we're both merging to say they should not be together. Update 2. We continue to attend the same yoga class. Then I accepted an invitation from her to get tea after class. We had a lot of fun and made plans for an official date.
Boo this man again for different reasons.
But I want you guys to officially listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. Easy as that.
Go do it, and do it as soon as you're done with this episode.
But there is a little bit left. I went out on a date with her. We dated for a while and took it really slowly. I asked her to be my girlfriend in early February. So far, things have gone really smoothly. My lease is up in June, and I want to move out of my apartment because it's kind of a bachelor place. I want to rent a house and ask her to move in. I feel like our relationship is growing fast and deepening fast, but I think the reason is because we turned out to be so compatible. Also, I really am in love with her and she with me, so I don't want to take it slow anymore. I know she's going to be very happy when I ask her to move in with me, so that's where things are. And that is the end of that story.
I truly do not know what to make of all of that.
I don't either, but you know what? If they're happy, I guess.
I guess.
I really wish that we got an update where it's like, and I met her family again. Well,
hey, good luck. That's all I can say, I guess. But that is the end of that story.
Yep. So we're going to get into the next one.